Family, Stephen could have been anything. He represented Australia in junior soccer, but nothing was nearly as serious as those backyard tests.
I toiled and I sweated, and when the day was done, I'd made 100 in the backyard at Mum's.
Stephen and his brothers did score hundreds in the backyard at Mum's, and then went on to score them in grade and shield cricket. Now, after an imposing season with the Blues, he's about to wear the baggy green cap.
It's the ultimate in cricket, you know, it's what I've always, aimed for all in my junior days, so, it's great to be fit for Australia.
The doyen of cricket commentators, Richie Benno, always careful in his praise of players, was almost caught breathless when Waugh caressed the first ball he faced in last Wednesday's McDonald Cup match against South Australia.
There's a good shot.
Stephen was named man of the match, taking 3 wickets and scoring 48 class runs. His timing was right for Test selection, but does he feel he's ready for it?
Well, obviously the selectors think so, but, hopefully I am. I'm pretty happy with the batting, and bowling's coming along pretty nicely too.
Welcome back. Well, if you didn't realise, that was actually Steve Waugh was seeing on the camera there. When that career was launched back in 1985, it's amazing where a career can go. And did you think then you were seeing someone with the talent to be where he is today?
I don't think you foresee that. I think as a commentator, you're delighted to see a good young cricketer at the early stage of his career, and then you hope that you get the opportunity to follow them right through. But I think Steve there was even a little hesitant when he was asked the question, do you think you're good enough? I think at that age as a player, you get picked in the Australian side and you're hoping that you can get a big score reasonably quickly, because if you get a big score, preferably 100, because then at least well, I've got a Test 100 to my name. But if you get that 100, you know that it gives you a bit of time in the team, and then you feel that if I've got a bit of time in the team, then hopefully I'll have enough talent that I can have a long career. But I don't think even Steve would have been thinking, never mind 100 tests with his brother, 100 tests for himself. Yeah, well, we're going to pay tribute to the Steve and Mark Waugh today, to the Waugh boys. 100 tests together, it's a wonderful feat. And back on Allan Border Medal Night earlier this year, we paid tribute to the Waugh twins, and it gave a rare insight into the boys playing together and their thoughts, what they do like and what they don't like. Let's take another look at that tribute right now.
Match 100, number 24, for Stephen Waugh, the Australian captain. Brings up his 18th Test match 100.
I think guys have a laugh about it sometimes. I mean, we don't have a lot of conversations together, and when we do, the blokes say, oh, look, the boys are talking sort of thing, so they have a bit of a laugh about it and find it a bit strange. I mean, it's not your average, I guess, brother relationship, but we communicate pretty well out in the middle.
Before now, we haven't really spoken much about each other. We don't show a lot of outward emotion. We don't, go around holding hands and talking to each other in deep conversation one-on-one too often, but I think deep down we obviously care for each other. We know how each other's feeling. If the other one needs a bit of a helping hand, then I'm sure we'll be there. If we need to stick up for each other, we'll definitely be there.
When we look back, it was a good existence. It was, I guess we didn't have a lot of money, and we weren't from a rich family, so we did it reasonably tough, but I think that was good in our upbringing. We shared everything, socks, clothes, was first in, best dressed, literally. Yeah, we were pretty close proximity to each other, so that's perhaps why we'd never really roomed with each other on tour, because we did it for 20 years and, we're sick of seeing the sight of each other wake up in the mornings.
We used to be late for school every day, and I used to get in trouble as much as these guys, but I was ready, always on time, so that used to annoy me a little bit. But,
we could never get in the bathroom. Mark used to take half an hour to get ready in the morning, so the 3 of us get 2 minutes to get our hair ready. And so we're always struggling, always late for school, but...
good comeback.
Yeah, look, if that's one advice I'll give to people out there, if you've ever got twins, just dress them separately. Don't have the same outfits. And when we had these purple outfits with a white belt, and then we had the cowboy outfits. Some pretty embarrassing pictures we've got of us growing up over the years. All the kids around our neighbourhood had the bikes, but we had the scooters instead with the streamers on the handlebars.
About 15 we had scooters.
Yeah, and one of us would have to go up the street to get the newspapers. And we used to hate that. Whoever got the name called out would have to drive up the street, and we copped it from all the kids down the street who were riding scooters down the street.
We certainly liked to outdo each other. Whatever we did, we wanted to be better than the other one.
I guess growing up, it was a little bit difficult for us because as twins, you're always being compared. Who's the better twin? Who's the better at school? Who's getting the better marks? Who's the better batsman? Who scored the most runs on the weekend? So that does lead to some sort of form of jealousy, I guess. And there was plenty of fights behind the scenes and some dodgy tactics in the bedroom. They were probably our biggest battles, playing tennis matches, and they'd always sort of go into 3 sets, and they were desperate, you know, right down to the last point. So that's probably where we got our competitive nature from.
I think I was marginally better too at tennis. I was actually the #1 seed for the Liverpool region primary school, and you were #2. So
yeah, I was robbed.
I was slightly better.
It was a poor selection. We didn't know what a girl was. That's not a lie. 19 years old, we're just cricket, sport, every day, every minute of the day. Girls just didn't play a part in our lives.
We didn't used to, you know, talk to too many girls.
Yeah, look, I think Mum and Dad must have secretly thought they might have had gay twins on their hands one stage.
Look, that became a little bit of a concern for me. I thought, this is not normal, you know. We really need... I didn't have any females in the family. I couldn't wait for the day to have some girls in the house, and I thought when they got to about 17, this is never going to happen.
Mum was the only girl we knew at that age.
Almost remember having a girlfriend in primary school. Well, certainly having a kiss anyway. But
there you go. I never got a kiss.
That was about it, yeah. I obviously remember when I first got picked for Australia in Test cricket.
And Mark was at Mum's place, and I walked through the door and must have looked a bit unhappy. Mum said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Well, I've just been dropped from the Australian side." And she said, well, she sort of started to take it pretty harsh and a few tears, and then she said, "Well, who's going to replace you?" And I said, "Well, actually, he is over there." Yeah, look, it's nice to know that when we finish our career that we are the first twins ever to play Test match cricket, and we've played 100 Test matches each and over 201 days, so that's something we would never have dreamed of in the backyard or growing up. So, yeah, that's great, and I think Mum and Dad are really proud about that. They don't say it a lot, but I'm sure that, you know, deep down they're pretty happy that their twin boys have made it.
One day I'll pinch myself and realise I am their mother and they're actually playing for Australia.
Oh, I feel proud of him for sure, because he's probably go down as one of the greatest captains of all time, so to have him as your brother, yeah, it's very special.
Yeah, it's an insight into Mark and Steve Waugh. Where do they stand now in? They're not getting any younger, obviously.
Well, they've given a lot to Australian cricket, and I think we're going to find out how good the batting order is when Mark and Steve leave that batting order, because so many times they've saved Australia when there's been early trouble. We tend to think of it as Steve doing it more often, but Mark does it pretty regularly as well, and they've contributed a hell of a lot to Australian cricket, and Australian cricket's going to miss them badly.
Yeah, 263 tests between them. It's magnificent, isn't it?
It is, and I mean, Mark Waugh has been a particular favourite of mine. I enjoy watching him bat, but I think he's one of the few blokes I could say about. I just enjoy watching him field. I could sit here and watch him field all day. I just love his the way he fields, and he's given me a hell of a lot of pleasure.
Thanks for your time today. You've given all our Cricket Show viewers a lot of pleasure.
Thanks, mate.
And we'll have more Cricket Show right after the break.
And he takes a long time up by Robinson, almost as long as Steve Buckner.
That's his century. That is a superb 100.